What if I told you that you can master any foreign language on an intermediate level in just a few months? What if I told you that most people cannot do it because they don't know the methods, they don't know the techniques of using their subconscious mind? So in this video, I decided to share with you my top 3 techniques of using your subconscious mind to master foreign languages. You probably saw my last video. If you haven't seen it, check out my YouTube channel, check out my last video. It's called How to Use Your Subconscious Mind to study foreign languages as well. It has pretty much the same name. But in this video, I'd like to proceed talking about this topic, and I'd like to tell you how to use your superpower, how to use your subconscious mind to master foreign languages. And so tip number one is called changing the context. Changing the context. What does it mean? You should change the environment you are learning at. You should go to different places, different locations, interact with different people. And what it means is that your brain memorizes information much better when you're learning in different locations, in different settings, and in different environments, and in different circumstances. And it's proven by science. There are countless experiments done by scientists when they took a group of students and just put them in the classroom where they studied a particular set of vocabulary. And there was a second group of students where they were changing classrooms, going to different locations where they were learning those words. And it proved to be much more effective to learn vocabulary and to learn other things, to learn anything pretty much in different locations, in different settings, in different environments. Your subconscious mind is focused not only on the information at hand, not only on the information you are trying to memorize, but also on the environment, on everything around you. Your subconscious memorizes many things, and if you help your subconscious mind to distinguish this information from other information by going to different places or changing things up. For example, if you used to study in a particular room, you can go to another room for studying, and you will improve your productivity, you will improve your memorization power like 10%, 20%. And so what I recommend you to do, practical tip here, is try going to different cafes. This is actually what I've done. I went to different cafes, I was interacting with different people. When I was in China, I was going to different cafes and I was learning Korean and Chinese there, and I was meeting my friends and talking to them and practicing those foreign languages. And I was going to different places, I was studying in different locations. And this is tip number 1. This is how you can use your subconscious mind, your subconscious power to memorize things much better. Tip number 2, try to record yourself speaking these foreign languages from the day 1. This is what actually I've been doing for quite a few months right now. You can upload those videos on Instagram. You can upload them and look at yourself and share it with other people. You can actually create another Instagram account. Don't worry about people pointing out on your mistakes, because actually this is one of the purposes of doing it. And so you've probably heard me talking about the concept of pre-testing in my last video. And if you haven't watched my last video, here I'd like to remind you that pre-testing is challenging yourself before you are going to learn something. In order to make your brain, in order to make your subconscious highly effective in memorizing things and highly effective in perceiving things, in order to heighten your perception, you can and you should pre-test yourself. Only after pre-testing yourself, only after putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, you will be memorizing things much quicker, much better, much more effective. This is the situation when you can learn a foreign language just after 3 months. 3 months! You can master a foreign language just after 3 months by constantly pre-testing yourself. And so here I would like to give you a practical tip how you can pre-test yourself. Pull out your phone and record 1-minute video every single day, starting from now, starting from today. You can tell me, Victor, I really don't know what to talk about. I can say just a few sentences. I can tell just a few things about myself. So here I'd like to tell you the following. Try to say whatever comes to your mind. Try to do self-introduction every single day. You can repeat yourself every day, but you can add new sentences, new grammatical patterns, new words. This is what actually I've been doing with Japanese. So here, what I recommend you to do is pull out your phone and record 1 to 2 minutes of yourself speaking this particular foreign language. It's okay if you don't know what to say, it's okay if you don't know what to talk about. Try free association and try to say whatever comes to your mind. For example, you can say, I go to school, I don't want to go to school, I want to drink, I want to eat, I want to meet my friends, stuff like this. It doesn't have to be logical, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, the only purpose of it is not to be perfect. The purpose of it is making mistakes, because only by making mistakes you can grow. You can show this video to other people, to native speakers, to people who learn the same foreign language but know more than you about this foreign language, and those people can help you. This is what I've been practicing for a really long time, guys, with Chinese, Japanese, Korean and English, because pre-testing is probably the best concept I've ever developed for my own studying, for my own learning. Number 3, the tip number 3 is called priming. You probably heard about the mere exposure effect. So the mere exposure effect means that you can memorize thousands of words and hundreds of grammatical patterns just by exposing yourself over and over and over again. What does it mean, exposing yourself? It means that you just open the book and you understand and you just read it. And you just expose yourself. Or you talk to a native speaker, you try to practice this language and you pick up some words, you pick up some grammar, some intonation or something like this. And you pick up all those patterns by just exposing yourself without actually taking crazy amounts of effort. And here in this video, I'm going to be talking about the priming effect. So what does priming effect mean? Priming is a really famous term in psychology, and there are so many studies talking about priming effect. And so priming means that your behavior changes after being exposed to certain information. Your subconscious mind is memorizing certain information you're being exposed to without you even noticing it. By opening the textbook in this foreign language and reading vocabulary lists and reading grammar explanations and trying to just understand it as much as you can. And by doing it over and over and over again, by reviewing the same vocabulary list and the same grammatical structures and grammar explanations and text and so on, by reviewing all this information, you will constantly prime yourself and your brain will memorize information without you taking crazy amounts of effort. And actually the concept of priming is closely related to the concept of spacing. Do you know the so-called spacing rule? So the spacing rule means that your brain will memorize a certain amount of information more effectively if you are constantly exposing yourself to this information by doing it over certain periods of time. For example, you learn a certain vocabulary today and then you try to review it after a few days and then you do it after a month and so on and so forth. And so the concept of spacing means that you should review again and again. You should review your material for learning this foreign language, be it a book or video or something else, over and over again. And so this mere exposure effect, priming and spacing, those are really powerful concepts which mean that you can learn, you can master a foreign language just by reading and understanding. Most people stop learning foreign languages just because they try to hammer all this crazy vocabulary lists in their head. They try to force themselves to learn this foreign language. They try to force themselves to memorize crazy amounts of grammar, crazy amounts of vocabulary, without even understanding that they can do it effortlessly by just reviewing it, reading it, understanding it, and practicing it. Try to have fun, try to go to different places, try to go to different cafes with your friend, and just open those textbooks for learning foreign languages and just read them. First time you will just prime yourself and your subconscious will memorize this information. Your conscious mind will not be able to retrieve this information from your head. However, by doing it over and over again, by priming yourself, by using mirror exposure effect, spacing rule, and priming effect, by reviewing the same vocabulary and the same grammar over and over and over again, you will master this foreign language. And to close up this video, I'd like to tell you that to master a foreign language on an intermediate level, it takes just 2 books. 2 books. The first book is a beginner book, and the second book is an intermediate level book. It actually brings you from lower beginner to lower intermediate. And after finishing just 2 books, after reviewing those 2 books over and over again and mastering like most of the information, like 70 to 80% of the information from those 2 books, including grammar and vocabulary and so on, you will be able to communicate with native speakers in most of the situations. In most of the situations, you'll be able to effectively understand and communicate with native speakers without even learning this particular foreign language in a foreign country. You don't need a native speaker in front of you to start speaking. This is really important. Just pull out your phone, record this 1-minute video for today, and start from today and do it every single day. This is really important. And to close up this video, I'd like to give you a final tip, really powerful tip, again about using your subconscious mind to master foreign languages. Different people are prone to be sensitive to information in different ways. What does it mean? And some people like to write to memorize vocabulary. Some people like to read, constantly read. Some people like to listen. What I would urge you to do is that try to just observe yourself, try to observe your own behavior. Do you like to send voice messages and listen to those voice messages? Or do you like to write and read more? If you like to listen and if you like to record voice messages, you probably should be listening more when learning a foreign language. If you like to read text messages, you probably absolutely need to read more when learning a foreign language. If you absolutely love to write everything and you memorize by writing, you should absolutely write more. I was writing many Chinese characters without actually memorizing them. And then I discovered that I actually should focus on reading and listening more and not on writing, because by writing I actually cannot memorize stuff. I hope this video was helpful for you. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel or to my Instagram page, please consider subscribing. And as always, until next time.